Start by grabbing an old sheet pan from your kitchen. Something a little dinged up is actually perfect for this project. Take your pan outside and give it a couple of coats of spray paint. I went with a neutral gray here, but you could totally customize this color however you want. You could even grab painter's tape and put patterns on it if you want to. Next, you'll need a pack of clothespins from the dollar store. And for a quick painting hack on these, clip all of them along the edge of a cardboard strip, and it will be really easy to spray paint one side and then flip them over and paint the other side on all of them. Once those clothespins are dry, you can grab a roll of magnets from the craft store. Cut a piece of magnet that fits the length of each clothespin. Most of these magnetic rolls are peel and stick, so you can just remove the paper backing and then press that magnet right onto one side of each of your clothespins. And now comes the fun part, decorating. I suppose you could leave these pins plain, but it's a lot more fun if you give them a fun color, paint a pattern, or add some sort of cute embellishment on them. I found this outer space themed eraser set at Dollar Tree and I could not resist. They're the perfect size for this project and I know that my son is absolutely going to love them. Once everything is ready to go, grab a few command strips and use them to hang your pan right onto the wall. That's right, you're just going to stick your pan directly onto the wall anywhere that you want it. I hung mine a little bit low below the light switch so my 3-year-old can reach. And now you've got a magnetic memo board that's cute, functional, and costs next to nothing to make. These magnetic clothespins are so perfect for holding little notes, photos, art, reminders, and I added one of these magnetic round containers from Dollar Tree too. It's really become the perfect catch-all for all those tiny treasures that my 3-year-old finds during the day. Rocks, stickers, beads, jewels, random bits that he refuses to part with. It's simple, it's organized, and it turns clutter into a cute little display, all from an old baking sheet that had seen better days anyway. So grab one from your kitchen and make this little magnetic memo board today.
Head to a hardware store and grab a very large piece of foam board. Then find a very large piece of fabric that is even bigger than the foam board. I shopped my house and found an old curtain panel that was the perfect size. I cut the fabric ties off the top and was ready to roll. Try to get any wrinkles out of the fabric at this time. You will need a big space to work. Lay your fabric out with the print side facing down. Then place the foam board on top of the fabric with at least 2 inches of fabric on each side of the board. Starting on the short side of the foam board, wrap the fabric over the top of the board, pull it taut, and staple with a staple gun. A hand stapler will work just fine for this. Pulling the fabric taut and laying a staple. Once the short ends are stapled, go to a long side of the board. Start in the center, pull the fabric firmly, and staple. Staple this side evenly back and forth until the entire side is stapled. Repeat the same process for the fourth side. Now take a whole bunch of command strips and apply them to the back side of the board around the entire perimeter. Don't apply to the fabric, just to the board itself. Peel off the back coverings from the command strips and get ready to hang this on the wall. You can hang this either horizontally or vertically, depending on your space. The pattern on my board made it perfect for vertical hanging. You now have an enormous bulletin board to use. I'm using mine in our mudroom as our family central communication board. Hang family names with a clipboard of the daily to-do list. Pin up a calendar, family photos, small shopping bags, inspirational quotes, and fun decorative items.
Grab some pegboard hooks and shelves from your local dollar store and buy some inexpensive pegboards. Do you have leftover peel and stick wallpaper from wallpapering a wall or other project? Lay your wallpaper face down on a table and position the pegboards on the paper with a few inches of space between each pegboard. Outline each pegboard with a pencil and cut out each piece of wallpaper, including an additional inch outside the outline. With some sharp scissors, cut out the corners of the wallpaper. Peel the backing off the wallpaper and lay the pegboard face down on the sticky side of the paper. Press down firmly so you know the wallpaper is sticking. Wrap the outer edges of the wallpaper up and over the side edges of the pegboard. Take a screwdriver, pencil, or other poker-type object and poke holes through the wallpaper and into the pegboard holes. You can do this for feeling for the pegboard holes with your finger or by holding it up to the light to see the hole. Hang the pegboard with the hardware provided so it is secure on the wall. Line up with the wallpaper pattern on your wall with the covered pegboard. The hardest part is sometimes matching up the pattern on the wall, but once you find it, it is so fun to line it up and see the pegboard disappear into the matching pattern. Insert the pegboard hooks into the wallpapered pegboard to hold your keys, or hang a pegboard shelf to hold dryer sheets in your laundry room. Style with pretty home decor, or use to store functional items, or both.
To start this project, I have this beautiful white and blue floral fabric that I think is going to look great on the corkboard. I've gone ahead and cut a piece of fabric so that I have a smaller piece to work with. I cut it a little bit bigger than the board and will trim off the excess later. To adhere the fabric to the cork, I'm going to use a spray adhesive. The spray adhesive will keep the fabric in place and lightly stick it to the cork. Since I only have put spray adhesive in the center of the board, I'm going to now lift each side and finish putting it in place. With the fabric adhered in place now, I want to trim off the excess. I'm going to use scissors and a utility knife. I want to hide all of the raw edges of the fabric, so I grab some of this really pretty jute rope. Using hot glue, I'm just going to run a bead along the edge of the frame and then stick the jute rope right into place. I don't mind the faux wood frame around the cork, so I'm just going to leave that as is. I could paint it, but I kind of like it like this. At the corner, I'm just going to snip the rope, and then I'm going to start a new piece to go down until I've gone all the way around the board. To finish off the board and make it look even better, I want to add these really nice burlap roses and some little loops of the same jute twine I put around the edge. They'll all be kept in place with some hot glue. I love how beautiful these roses look with the fabric. This corkboard looks so much prettier now and was so easy to give it a makeover.
On your next trip to Walmart, buy an inexpensive framed bulletin board in the office supply aisle. Take a piece of scrap fabric that is at least 3 inches larger than the bulletin board on all sides. Once you have trimmed the fabric, flip it all over once again so the fabric lies on top of the board. I found a product on Amazon that is an amazing upholstery hack. These upholstery tacks come in a long connected strip with a hole every 5 tacks. Take one of these strips and lay it along the inside of the bulletin board frame. Then take one of the separate tacks, place it into the hole in the tack strip, and gently tap it in with a hammer. Now flip the board over. Wrap the fabric around the frame to the back side and glue it down to the frame using a hot glue gun. Be sure to pull the fabric taut around the frame so there are no loose spots. After you glue an entire side down, let it dry and then cut off any excess fabric that is not glued down. Continue this process around the entire frame, folding the corners as you go and cutting off excess fabric. Once you hang your new upholstered bulletin board, use decorative push pins to hang important samples, photos of loved ones, reminder notes to yourself or your family,